CalWest Mortgage Company was the largest specialty lending mortgage company in the nation to offer mortgage-backed loans to individuals unable to get loans because of past credit problems, debt, or lack of provable income. It quickly outpaced all of its competitors in growth and profitability. CalWest tripled in growth for 3 consecutive years, securing 170 branches throughout the United States. This growth was primarily due to its ability to adapt. CalWest had a policy of promoting from within. Promotion to branch manager was usually based on previous performance. New branch managers had typically very good sales skills, but little management experience. CalWest also had a policy of quickly firing anyone whose performance did not meet the organization's standards. Specifically, if an associate's performance lacked for 3 months, the associate was terminated or demoted. New managers had a management training session which only lasted an hour. In the last 2 years, the Manhattan Beach branch had employed 3 different managers. The 2 managers had both been demoted for lack of productivity. Henry had been appointed to his position as sales manager of the branch 5 months before Sal's telephone call. Henry sat down with his employees and taught them how to sell loans. And within the first few months, the branch started to perform well. Within a month, they had began to average $900 per month in commission checks. During Henry's 2nd month as manager, Human Resources received a call from one of his associates who complained about disparate treatment in the branch and Henry's management style. A quick investigation was conducted, and it was discovered that Henry had conducted questionable business practices, such as bait and switch, and routinely taping his conversations with other associates without their consent. The employee was transferred to another branch the next day without telling the other associates why this particular associate was leaving. 2 weeks later, another associate called with similar complaints. Henry had cursed at one of the customers and made a gender slur when talking to her. The associate was suspended with pay, and a more thorough investigation was done. 2 other employees agreed that there were management issues. Prior to these allegations, all 3 associates had recently been placed on 60-day warnings for low productivity. The remaining 6 associates all agreed that Henry was a good manager and wrote written statements on his behalf. However, Henry was making them more money than they ever made before. It was decided that Henry's management style was sufficient and was never disciplined. The associate who called HR returned to work for a short time, but was soon offered a transfer. Within the next 4 months, the branch experienced a tremendous turnover rate of 80% compared to its normal turnover rate of 56%. Henry terminated 2 associates for productivity during the 4th month of his employment as branch manager. 2 associates who had recently called Human Resources voluntarily quit. The 2 associates who had voiced that management issues existed voluntarily transferred to other branches. 3 more associates were transferred to other CalWest branches. The investigation was conducted at the Manhattan Beach office. Henry was interviewed and consistently alleged that he never cursed or exhibited physically or mentally threatening behavior. He mentioned that Sal had recently expressed anger toward him because he made Sal split a commission bonus with another associate. Henry asserted that Sal had been very happy with his management style prior to their confrontation. Henry's employees were also interviewed separately.
0.
So, what are the issues here?
Well, there were reports of physical abuse. Sal asserted that Henry had pushed his associates, and on several occasions, One associate even claimed that she thought that Henry was capable of violence and could even harm her children.
And remember that customer that hoped that Henry didn't come to her house with the axe in hand?
There was mental abuse as well.
Yeah.
Sal said that Henry screamed and yelled at his associates, and two other associates agreed that he yelled when angry, although he was congenial and fun when happy.
Yeah, and also Henry could be micromanaging his employee. Sal claimed that Henry watches his every move and has 6 impromptu meetings every day, and that it interfered with his work, his ability to perform his work. Also, there are 2 other employees that claims that Henry is also micromanaging, but that they don't. It doesn't affect their job.
And had threatened retaliation. The 2 associates had mentioned that Henry coerced them to alter their written testimonies during the previous investigation.
But there are also a few issues that work in Henry's favor.
Yes, he never received a written notice from the previous counseling session. And they rarely terminate an associate without at least one piece of written warning.
Yeah, and there's also that race discrimination issues in another area of the United States. Last time, Henry had said that the area manager had canceled him because he was black.
In those tape recordings, he could have recordings of the area manager who had recently been demoted as a result of questionable practices. It could potentially be damaging to the company's reputation.
The investigation is now complete. What should the investigators do about Henry? We want your opinion.